sit down. Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wharton's commencement ceremony for our doctoral graduates. Today is a special day for so many reasons. As we come together to celebrate your monumental achievements, we also recognize this as a pivotal moment in your educational and professional journeys. But first, let's not overlook the fact that many of you are sitting here today in large part because of the unwavering support of a multitude of people, many of whom join us today to celebrate you. So, without further ado, let me welcome our guests, the friends and families of our graduates. It's been a long journey to get here, and you've been with our graduates every step of the way. So, this achievement is shared with all of you. And while we're here, I'd like to stay on this topic of shared experiences. We often like to think of our careers as individual pursuits, defined by our own ambition, our own effort, our own achievements. But the truth is, that's simply not the case. No one gets to the end of this journey alone. Every step is shared and shaped by the people around us. Today, we naturally recognize the family and friends who've supported you, those sitting in the room or cheering you on from afar. But there are also others whose impact is just as meaningful. Colleagues, mentors, managers, teammates who challenged you, guided you, opened doors, and helped you navigate obstacles along the way. Your success will not be a solo accomplishment. It will be the product of a community that believed in you, invested in you, and grew alongside you. My research over the years has focused on the importance of relationships in building successful careers. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it's been especially on my mind as I spend my 26th year here at Wharton. During that time, I've been fortunate to build deep and lasting friendships with extraordinary people, some of whom are in this room today. And without them, I would not be here. Not all of them look like me, believe like me, or even agree with me, especially during some of our more spirited debates. But we found common ground and mutual respect, and that's what has allowed our relationships to flourish. Finding people you genuinely trust and care about can buffet us of the world and sustain you through both the highs and lows of your career. It's especially important in the world that we're living in now, with AI and social media. Who can you trust? What can you trust? The verifiability of information is more important than ever. And relationships provide a foundation for trust in an ever-changing world. And this problem is not new to our time. In fact, it's one that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries. It took a conversation with my son Jacob, who recently took a course on the philosophy of friendship, to remind me of this fact. Here I am, after years of research and countless studies on relationships, being pointed back to ideas explored all the way back in ancient Greece. There's something humbling in that. Aristotle, for example, wrote extensively about friendship, arguing that it's not just a social luxury, but a central component of a meaningful life. Long before we had data, models, analytics, and memes, he recognized that who we surround ourselves with shapes who we become. So, while the tools and language we use today may be more sophisticated, the fundamental question remains the same. How do we build relationships that sustain us, challenge us, and ultimately help us to lead better lives? Aristotle framed this problem through the lens of virtue, the idea that doing what is morally good ultimately leads to a better life. He saw friendship itself as providing a moral opportunity, essential to both happiness and flourishing. He described three types of friendship. First, friendships of utility, built on mutual benefit, like professional relationships, which often last only as long as the benefit does. These are common in our work lives. Second, friendships of pleasure, built on shared enjoyment or interests, meaningful and important, but sometimes temporary. These are often seen in peer relationships at work. And third, friendships of virtue. These are grounded in character, where the goal is not what you gain, but who you become. You bring out the best in one another, and the connection endures because it's rooted in mutual respect and growth. These are the relationships that last, and the ones that most profoundly shape not just your life, but also your career. How to navigate and build friendships at work is a question that I've spent the last 2 decades thinking about. For example, one of my recent papers is called Friends Without Benefits, the Dark Side of Friendship at Work. And as a result, I explore the complex dynamic of work relationships. They are necessary and important, but they are not always simple. Sometimes they're messy. Sometimes they don't work out. They have to be intentionally cultivated and nourished. Figure out how to build those friendships. And it doesn't get easier. As we get older, our circle and we get more set in our ways. The PhD student mentor relationship is a powerful example of how professional ties can evolve into something deeper and more enduring, the ideal virtue friendship. Aristotle himself was shaped by his mentor, Plato, a student of Socrates, incorporating many of their teachings into his own profound understanding of the world. And mentor relationships are great examples of a timeless truth. The way you treat people and nurture relationships profoundly influences both your work and your life. What begins as a structured academic guidance often becomes a relationship characterized by mutual trust, collaboration, and personal support, the same ingredients required of friendship. It's no wonder that these relationships help students navigate the inevitable challenges of research and career uncertainty, because no one succeeds alone. I've seen this firsthand. Early in my career, I worked closely with one of my students, Lakshmi Ramarajan, who has recently become a full professor at Harvard Business School. What started out as a formal mentorship grew into a long-term collaboration and ultimately a genuine friendship. Over the years, Lakshmi and I have collaborated on several papers that explore identity and relationships in the workplace, which is an interest that we both share. Our most recent paper from a few years ago was titled, OMG, My Boss Just Friended Me, which examined how connecting on social media can make managers and employers blur the boundary between the personal and the professional. I know some of you are thinking, no way, I don't want to be Facebook or Instagram friends with my boss or coworkers, but the truth is many of us are. And while workplace friendships can be complex and sometimes thorny, they are totally worth it when they work out. What's most meaningful to me about my connection with Lakshmi is how our relationship has evolved into an Aristotelian virtue friendship. What began as a faculty-student relationship grew into a mentorship, and over time, into a true mutual friendship. We've supported each other through professional milestones, but also through moments of uncertainty and challenge in our lives. And somewhere along the way, the titles mattered less. What remained was a deep sense of mutual respect trust, and care for each other, not just as colleagues, but as people. Today, I learn as much from her as she learns from me. That's the thing about relationships. They evolve. And when it works best, we evolve with them. We grow, we change, we become better versions of ourselves because of the friends who give us the love and the support and the space to do so. In today's modern world, we sometimes see these ideas about relationships expressed more simply than philosophers or researchers ever could. Oprah Winfrey, for example, captures in plain language what Aristotle spent pages trying to explain about meaningful connection. Oprah once famously said, "Lots of people want to ride in the limo with you, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down." In moments of setback, we may not be able to fix everything for one another, but we can remind each other of our value, our worth, and our shared humanity. That willingness to get out of the limo and take the bus with someone reflects the very essence of what Aristotle would call a virtue friendship, a relationship grounded in commitment, not convenience. As you move forward in your lives and careers, there will be low points. Failure is a part of most of our journeys, and rebounding from failure is always easier when you're not alone. Success is not only about what you achieve, it's about the relationships you build, sustain, and carry with you as life takes twists and turns. Some of you may have already found those people, perhaps even here at Wharton. But the real lesson is this: it's not just about finding your people. It's about investing in them. Relationships, like any meaningful business investment, require time, energy, and care. And when you commit to that investment, the returns can be extraordinary. They say that once you've attended Wharton, it never really leaves you. And I hope that's true, because what you've built here is not just knowledge, but a foundation of relationships that will carry you forward. It's more than a LinkedIn network. It's a shared of set experiences. This moment, your graduation, is a pause to celebrate, even amid the uncertainty of the world around us, and to look ahead with intention. As you do, remember, success in your career and in your life is not a solo endeavor. As Aristotle noted, you will build many kinds of relationship along the way. Those of utility, those of shared joy, but it is the virtuous friendships grounded in trust, character, and mutual growth that will sustain and define you. So, use all of your intelligence, all of your skill, and all of your humanity to build a bigger table and make room for those deeper, more meaningful connections. Invest in them, because when you do, you don't just elevate your own path, you strengthen the paths of others and create the kind of success that lasts. Find the people that will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Congratulations to our doctoral graduates. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome Wharton's Vice Dean of the Doctoral Program, Nancy Zhang, to the podium.
Thanks, Nancy, and thank you all for being here. It's such a wonderful day to be together to celebrate the achievements of our doctoral students. So in a few minutes, we will come to the moment that we have all been waiting for, which is the conferral of degrees and the hooding of our PhD graduates. We do this not just full of pride of our graduates, but as Nancy said, full of gratitude for all of you in the audience who have supported them along the way. As we celebrate the achievements of our graduates, we also want to take this occasion to acknowledge those of you who have helped them, parents, mentors, friends, and graduates. Please take this moment to look behind you and across the aisle. None of us could complete this journey alone, and for those of you whose graduates cannot, for those of you graduates whose loved ones cannot make it here today, I know that today they are no less proud of you, and we are no less grateful. So in this year, 2026, we as a society have simplified a lot of things. Many rituals and formalisms have fallen away. We've said goodbye to print and bound dissertations, as well as formal thesis defenses where we show up in suit and tie. But the hooding ceremony is a tradition that at Wharton we truly cherish. It is a ritual that has never lost its meaning, because the PhD hooding not only recognizes this tremendous milestone that you, our graduates, have reached as a scholar, it is also symbolic of the special relationship between you and your mentors here at Wharton. As you now leave to start your own careers, in the years that come, you will for sure serve as mentors to younger versions of yourselves. And as the mentors across the aisle can testify, that is a role that comes with enormous privilege as well as loads of hard work. So as you wait your turn to walk across the stage, I hope you really take in this moment, as it is likely your final degree. The next time that you attend a graduation, you will likely be sitting across the aisle as a mentor or cheering on your friends or maybe your kids, or as supporters. We have 30 graduates in the room. Most of you arrived in Wharton around the year maybe 2020, 2021. That was a world that felt very different from what you will be stepping out into today. For many of you, your first year was either entirely remote or you came just as we were rebounding back from COVID. You had to find your footing as scholars in a period of extraordinary change. You have to build intellectual confidence, form communities, and discover the questions that would define your work. And as you face these rapid changes, emerging technologies, and global complexity, I hope that you will take that resilience and adaptability that you have gained through your completing your PhD here today. So, while this may be your last graduation to attend as a student, I hope that you will continue to be a student, to grow and to reinvent yourselves. When each of you come up here to get your diplomas, I will be announcing your thesis title. Please remember that while that may define your research today and you as a scholar today, you will simply treat that as a launch pad for new questions and new inquiries tomorrow. Most of all, I hope that, as Nancy said, the friendships that you have built at Wharton will be the invariant as you step out today, staying with you and deepening with the decades to come. So I'm going to start with the conferral of degrees, I will start with applied economics. After the graduates' names are called, so the graduates will line up on that side, and their mentors will be on to my left. Both the graduate and the mentors will meet at the center of the stage, and they will do the hooding. Okay, so if you're ready, from applied economics, our first graduate is Gi Hyung Kim. Gi's dissertation title is Essays on Industrial Organization and Real Estate. Gi's advisor is Maisie Wong, and Maisie is hooding. Our next graduate is Aaron Payne. Aaron's dissertation is titled Essays in Tax and Penalty Design. Aaron's advisors are Benjamin Lockwood and Alexander Reed Jones, and Benjamin Lockwood will hood. Next, we will have graduates from the Department of Ethics and Legal Studies. From Ethics and Legal Studies, we have Michaela Lobo. Michaela's dissertation is titled On Confidence as a Market Virtue. Her mentor is Brian Berkey, but I have the honor of hooding Michaela. Next, we have graduates from the Department of Finance. Our first graduate from Finance is Richard Kaiser. Richard's dissertation title is Whose Beliefs Matter for Firm Investment. His advisors are Sean Myers and Marius Gunzel, and Sean Buhud. Our next graduate from Finance is Wei Yu Peng. Wei Yu's dissertation is titled Essays on Consumer Credit Markets and Risk Pricing. His advisor is Atamar Dressler, and Atamar will hood. Our next graduate from Finance is Tasania Viratyosen. Tasania's dissertation is titled Innovation Spillovers Along the Supply Chain. Her advisors are Jules Van Brinskarbergen and Winston Doe, and Jules will hood. Our next graduate from finance is Chi Clara Xu. Clara's dissertation title is Essays in Financial Intermediation and Macrofinance. Her advisors are Urban German and Tim Langvoigt, and Urban and Tim Wilhood. Our next graduate from finance is Guanyu Zhou. Guanyu's dissertation is titled Essays on Credit Card Banking. His advisor is Etamar Dressler and Etamar Wilhood. Okay, now we come to the Department of Healthcare Management and Economics. From Healthcare Management Economics, our first graduate is Edda Alger. Edda's dissertation is titled Good Catches, Better Care, Learning from Near Misses in the Hospital Setting. Her advisor is Ingrid Nambar, and Ingrid is hooding. Our next graduate from Healthcare Economics is Alejandra Benitez. Alejandra's dissertation is titled Waiting Time and Demand for Elective Surgery, Evidence from Chile. Alejandra's mentor is Alexander Olson and Alexander Hoodin. Our next graduate is Cynthia Trude, and Cynthia's dissertation is titled Off on a Limb, Clinical Thresholds, Decision Dynamics, and System Burden in Amputation Care. Her mentors are Claudio Lucarelli and Marissa King, and Claudio is hooding. Our final graduate from Healthcare and Management and Economics is Ruo Chen Sun. Ruo Chen's dissertation is titled When Uber Comes to Town, Spatial Frictions and Healthcare Access. Her advisor is Abby Alpert, and Abby is hooding. Next, we come to the Department of Management. From management, our first graduate is Christopher Bruno. Christopher's dissertation is titled Going Local, Corporations and Communities' Most Pressing Issues. His advisor is Witold Hennis and Tyler Rye, and Tyler is hooding. Our next graduate from management is Jae-ho Kim. Jae-ho's dissertation is titled Knowledge Strategies and the Direction of Innovation in Emerging Technologies. His advisors are Rahul Kapoor and David Xu, and Rahul and David both Hood. Our next graduate from management is Daniel Schleisman. Daniel's dissertation is titled Unpacking the Two Blades, Cognition and Context in Organizational Adaptation. His advisor is Daniel Leventhal, and Daniel is hooding. Our next graduate from management is Grace Simon. Grace's dissertation title is It Takes Three, Gatekeepers and the Prevention of Help Exchanges. Her advisor is Michael Park, and Michael is hooding. Our next graduate from management is Vinay Subramanian. Vinay's dissertation title is Essays on Entrepreneurial Strategy for Deep Tech Ventures. His advisor is David Xu, and David is hooding. Our next graduate from management is Doron Tadmore. Doron's dissertation is titled License for Conflict, Multinational Investment, Social Resistance, and the Limits of Governance. His advisor is Witold Henitz, and Natalie Carlson is hooding. Our next graduate from management is Shun Yu. Shun's dissertation is titled Essays on Platform Governance. His advisor is Matthew Bidwell, and Matthew is hooding. Okay, now we come to the Department of Marketing. From marketing, our first graduate is Rachele Sciulli. Rachele's dissertation is titled Binge Watching, A Path to Retention or a Road to Regret. 2 essays exploring the drivers of binge watching propensity and its effects. Her advisor is Kate Lamberton, and Kate is hooding. Our next graduate from marketing is Anya Shirtkele. Anya's dissertation is titled Essays on the Decision Value of Data in Marketing, Measurement, and Targeting. Her advisor is Ron Berman, and Ron is hooding. Our final graduate from marketing is Jenny Xue. Jenny's dissertation is titled Theories of Reviewer-Observer Dynamics in Online Multimodal Word-of-Mouth Communication. Her advisor is Sherry Melumat, and Sherry is hooding. Now we come to the Department of Operations, Information, and Decisions. Our first graduate from OIDD is Borja Apaolaza Emparanza. And Borja's dissertation is titled Essays on Retail Operations and Pricing. His advisor is Santiago Galino, and Santiago will hood. Our next graduate from OIDD is Linnea Gandhi. Linnea's dissertation is titled Cumulation Requires Coordination Toward Predicting When, Where, and for Whom Nudges Work. Her advisor is Duncan Watts, and Duncan is hooding. Our next graduate from OIDD is Alexis Gordon. Alexis's dissertation is titled Choose Your Words Wisely, Strategic Conversations at Work. Her advisor is Maurice Schweizer, and Maurice is hooding. From OIDD, our final graduate is Xinlan Emily Hu. Emily's dissertation is titled More Than a Sum of Its Parts, Teamwork Through a Multidimensional Lens. Her advisor is Duncan Watts, and Duncan is hooding. And last but not least, we come to the Department of Statistics and Data Science. From Stat and Data Science, our first graduate is Abhinandan Dalal. Abhinandan's dissertation is titled Modern Advances in Accounting for Unmeasured Confounding via Sensitivity Analysis. His advisor is Dylan Small, and Dylan is hooding. Our next graduate from statistics is Yang Xinyu Xie. Yang Xinyu's dissertation title is Statistical Gems in AI Toward Reliable and Efficient Intelligence. His advisor is Weijie Su, and Zhimei Ren is hooding. Our next graduate is Zhaojun Jane Zhang. Her dissertation is titled Statistical Methods for Signal Recovery and Spatial Reconstruction in Single-Cell and Spatial Omics. I had the privilege of being Jane's advisor along with Zhongming Ma, and I will hood with Zhongming. And our final graduate for today, last but certainly not least, is Zijie Zhuang from statistics. Zijie's dissertation is titled Studies in Statistical Mechanics and Random Geometry. His advisor is Bashar Bhattacharya, who can't be here today, so I will have the honor of hooding Zijie. Okay, so let's just give a big round of applause again for all of our graduates. Congrats. Congratulations to our newly minted doctors in the room. As a tradition, we invite our graduates to come on stage again to take a group photo. So everybody come on up.